I bring forth evidence and information that only you would know about your loved one. And it's really meant to be able to validate life after passing. I know you have a lot of loved ones in the spirit world. I can feel it. So who do you want to connect with?
My son.
I do feel, and I'm getting the chills through my whole body, like your mother warmly greeted him. And I can almost feel like she tapped him on the shoulder and let him know it was okay to let go. I want to say your son had so much courage in the face of his passing, and that he trusted so much, knowing where he was in the spirit world, he'd go to a good place. Your son has so much love for you. I really want you to know, Shay, he is at peace. He is at peace. And I know how difficult it is for you after losing him, but he is really in a peace, and he's definitely I know this will help you with the Holy Spirit. So I like to announce that I'm an evidential medium, which means that I bring forth evidence and information that only you would know about your loved one. And it's really meant to be able to validate life after passing. You can go ahead and just let me know, who are you hoping to connect with?
Okay, perhaps my grandmother. That was probably the most significant loss I've ever had. Or
Okay, great. Would that
Yeah.
grandmother on your father's side or your mother's side?
they've both passed, but I have more of a relationship with my mother's grandma only because my other grandma passed when I was like a baby.
Okay, very good. Okay, good. Let's go ahead and just tune into what we're getting here. And it's interesting because when you were first mentioning it, I actually was drawn to your grandmother on your dad's side. But I would like to give you a brief message from her. Isn't going to be not necessarily something you can validate since you didn't know her, but you may know something about her manner, her personality from. So I feel like she was a very pleasant person. That's what I'm feeling for her. And like she had a nice little smile. And I'm also feeling physically with her, which you may not know, her feeling very winded in her chest. And I'm also hearing something about a stroke or somebody having a stroke. It feels like it's connected to that side of the family. And I'll give you that information. Also, would you understand someone with the name Rachel or an R name being connected?
To this person?
No, it could just be anyone in your universe, because I am hearing the word Rachel, the name.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, let's just zoom back to your other grandmother. And would you understand any of the physical things that I mentioned with that grandma?
Yes. She would have been for sure winded.
Okay.
I believe it was the flu ultimately, but she had like a lot of like water retention and stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh, so let me give you a little more, just a sec before we go. And you would understand your father has a brother as well?
Yes.
Yes, I'm hearing that as well. And would you understand there being someone with a W in their name? Or that being connected to you pretty close in your circle, a W name?
Not right now, no.
Okay.
Can't
So
think of it.
I'm hearing like Wayne or William, something like that. So that's going to be something you can maybe investigate with your dad.
Okay.
So I just want to say to you specifically, you would understand your grandmother died when you were very young? Is this what we're saying here?
Yes, I was like 6 months old.
Okay. So perfect. So don't tell me any more than that. So here's what I want to say to you from her, and then we'll move on to your other grandma.
Okay.
So I want to say this grandma in particular would watch you while you would be playing with your dolls in your room specifically. And I feel like you may understand yourself when you would sit on the ground, specifically when you were about 3 or 4 years old, your legs would be fanned out like this, like pizza legs, I call that. And then you may not remember this, but sometimes you might feel a little bit of a wind on the back of your neck. And I feel like I'm seeing an image of you like with little braids in your hair. And then I do want to say I do feel like you would sense their presence. But again, this is not something you can really verify because it's so young. But I did want to give you that in case that comes up because it's important to say everything.
Okay.
Okay, let's go into your other grandma then, who is your mother's mother. So let me bring in there. So she's had so much pride in you. That's what she's saying. She's so proud of who you are. And also recently, she's mentioning you registered for something or you're signing up for something. It feels like something that is connected. And then I'm getting also the month of September being here. Did you understand that?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. And also, what you would understand, you're thinking about having a child.
I just did.
Okay, thank you so much. So this is her really coming forward just for the full emotion, saying she's so proud of you. She's almost saying sometimes you can't believe or how far you've come in your own life and how much you have achieved. Sometimes you surprise yourself. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
So sometimes I really feel like she's saying you in your life, you've had many jumps. It's almost like you've had spiritual jump starts, and you don't sometimes you feel like you have wind behind you. So what I'm sensing is that so she's saying you've almost had like encouragement from behind, which makes it feels like something that feels like it was difficult, but all of a sudden everything opens up. And how did that work out? Does that make sense to you?
Yes, for sure.
And part of this makes me feel like, and also your grandfather is in the spirit world, yes?
Yes.
Yes. So both of them are definitely involved with what this string of good luck, I will say it feels like that. Like things working out together and everything coming into alignment and working out. So there's just a lot of pleasant energy between you and them. And where I think at moments, if you ever feel like you have a sense of not being confident, they're really helping with your confidence. Does that
I love that. Yes, I love that. I talk to them all the time.
feel like that? You have a very like enjoyable relationship. They're also showing me the color green being very significant. Did would you understand? Did you paint a wall green or do you have something significant?
I just bought a new green duvet for my bed.
Feels like it's definitely in your home and it's beautiful green and she loves that. I also want to talk about how she really feels like she had a very good aesthetic taste, your grandma. Would you have seen that? Like she was very good at like making a home look really beautiful and pleasant.
Yes, they both were. Yeah.
And she had a very good eye. And then she just in general, and also I feel with her, would you understand her traveling or enjoying travel?
Mhm.
So what it makes me feel like, so I'm traveling, and then when I go to places, I pick up things, and I wouldn't call these souvenirs, but I would say it's more of things that I enjoyed and things that reminded me of the places I've been. Does that make sense to you?
Definitely.
Yeah. Also, I am seeing an image of a snow globe specifically. It feels like this might be connected to you somehow. This is also connected with I gave you like either Christmas ornaments or decorations or something. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, really feels like that. So there, I want to say talk about the relationship between you and her was very intuitive, and I feel like she really understood who you are, your likes and preferences, and took a lot of time to pay attention to those details. And this would come forth in like gifts and things of that nature. Would you understand that?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like, and she's also saying you have expensive taste.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. And that you're a little particular. Okay. Would you understand somebody being a Taurus?
Yeah.
Okay. Fantastic. Who would this be?
Me and my new baby.
Oh my God, you're both Taurus?
Yes.
My guides have lately been giving me astrological stuff, which I think is so beautiful. I love that. I love that information. I love that so much. So good. So there's a lot of that detail. And she's saying what she's showing me is that's part of the creature comforts is being a Taurus. So having a beautiful aesthetic place, having a place that feels very cozy and home-like. And also, are you hosting Christmas this year?
Thanksgiving.
Oh, Thanksgiving. Okay, very good. And you would understand too, you're getting new decorations for that, some new things.
Yes, I'm trying.
Oh, so nice. And I'm seeing an image of a table runner and you putting some things along the table. Are you having about 12 people there?
Yes, it would be about that many.
Okay, very good. Understanding and wonderful too. So beautiful. You just have such a nice energy about you, and she's just letting you know that she's so proud of you as a wife, as a mother, as a friend, as a person, and also as a granddaughter. She is really saying what a pleasure you have been in and a joy in her life, and she wants to. Oh, so
Thank you so much.
oh my gosh, she was amazing. Like such a beautiful person. This like really lovely energy. I really enjoyed that.
Thank you so much. That was spot on. Thank you.
Yeah, Emily, thank you so much for volunteering. You were a wonderful guest.
Of course. Have a great day.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm so glad you're here with us. Thank you for being here.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm excited to speak to your people or your person. So, a couple things. Have we met each other before? I don't think so. It's so nice to meet you.
No, today's my first time being here.
I'm so glad you're here, Shay. Thank you for accepting and coming forward with me. I think you heard a little bit of my spiel I gave before. I always like to tell people. So usually what I love to know is, first of all, who you want to connect with. And we can pick one person, but only tell me the relationship and hold that for just a second. That's the first thing. And then what happens is I'm going to get all this information and you saw the other one. So you can see if it makes sense to you. And if it doesn't make sense to you, Shay, it's totally fine. Just say, I can't take that. And that's okay. Not hurting my feelings. It's good. And then also don't tell me too much. You can definitely tell me at the end, Shay. That way we're only validating what information comes in as it happens, if that makes sense. And then that way you have the best experience and the best readings. And that way your loved one can really give their message. Does that sound good?
It does. Yes.
Good. Okay, I know you have a lot of loved ones in the spirit world. I can feel it. So who do you want to connect with?
My son.
Your son. Okay, very good. Let me bring him forward. Also, just really quickly, if I get names and everything, sometimes names are just connected to really close people next to you. So it may not be necessarily their name, but things of that nature. I want to say I am hearing a J name coming through, if that makes sense to you. I'm also getting with your son that I am hearing, would you understand him being athletic?
Yes.
Yes. And I also feel like at some point, did he maybe sustain an injury on his left leg, left hip? This could be really, does that make sense? Yes. It's like a strain. Would this have been from sports?
Repeat that for me.
Would that have been from doing sports? Would you understand that?
Yes.
Yeah, it feels like that. I always feel, I feel like I'm seeing football. Does that make sense?
It does.
Yeah. He was a wonderful athlete. Let me talk a little bit about his journey a little bit, if I can. He wants to talk about that with you. And I also feel like he's really coming around you, like rubbing your shoulders, really coming, mama. Have you been feeling him lately?
Oh, yes.
Oh my goodness. There's so much closeness between you and him emotionally. I feel like he's calling himself like the light in your heart. Does that make sense?
It does.
Yeah. And he was definitely, I call him in the sweetest way, a mama's boy. That's what I'm hearing. He was definitely a mama's boy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was so close to you. So I do want to talk a little bit about, he's talking about his jersey. Let me see if I can get that number. Was there a number 7 in his number? Or I'm seeing the number 57, so that could be connected to something else, but I'm also seeing a number 7. Does that make sense?
He had some jerseys, that he left at my mom's, and we got everything out.
Exactly. So he is drawing me to the number 7. And would you understand, Shay, with one of his jerseys was white with green? I think I'm seeing one of them was white and it looks like either green or dark blue, if that would make sense.
I know white one with, I think he had red in it.
Okay. Because I definitely am seeing when he's talking to me about wearing like away whites. So what he's talking about is the difference of when he play like an away game and then when he'd have a different jersey for playing at home. He's talking about the differences. And would you understand him when they do away games wearing the white jersey? Does that make sense?
They all, one that I'm familiar with is the white one that has, I can't remember the number on it, but he has one white one.
Yeah.
And then red. I don't know.
The red with, okay, very good. And Shay, you also understand you have a daughter as well?
I do.
Yeah. He's talking about his sister too. It feels very much like it. And would you understand the word joy or knowing someone named Joy, or does that make sense?
Not right out was
That's okay, honey. That's okay. I'm going to leave that there since the name means several things, doesn't it? Let's keep going with this too. And you would understand too, Shay, his father is still alive. Would this be correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So I do want to talk about how when his passing happened, the effect that it had on everybody, because he does want to talk about that. So let me just blend with him too for a second. Would you understand his passing would have happened in the evening?
Yes.
That feels like that. And was there a vehicle involved with this?
No.
Okay. So I feel like what he's showing me is like, it's definitely at night, and that is very clear, but I also feel like I'm seeing him either near a vehicle or around a vehicle. This could have been somewhere he was moving with transportation. I'm not quite sure. Does that make sense?
It does. It must be when they were trying to get him to the hospital.
Okay, thank you. Because I'm definitely feeling like, and you would understand too, there would have been in the car with him like 2 or 3 people. Would there have been 2 people in the car with him when trying to get him to the location? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Okay. And were you then alerted and were you able to make it to the hospital?
Yes, afterwards, yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, very good. And then also, he's talking about his sister trying to get to the hospital. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So it also, what he is mentioning to me specifically about this is his father just after his passing, it almost like emotionally, like he's saying he went numb and cold. Something just turned off in him. Yeah. Yeah. I'm so sorry. And it makes me he's really mentioning how you were the person who held the family together when he passed. Was your mother still alive when he passed?
No, she died 9 months before he did.
9 months. Okay, thank you. Let me bring this in because he is referencing her specifically. So I want to talk about that just a second. So what I want to say is that I do feel, and I'm getting the chills through my whole body, like your mother warmly greeted him. And I can almost feel like she tapped him on the shoulder and let him know it was okay to let go. And that was your mother a very religious, spiritual person?
He was.
Yes. Oh my goodness. I want to say, I think she started praying over him when he passed. I am seeing an image of a Bible here, and I'm hearing that she transported him. And also, I want to talk about if anyone's worried about this idea of heaven, that of course he's there.
Yeah.
Okay. I also want to talk about how he's resting very well in the comfort, and you would understand this in the arms of Jesus.
Yes.
Okay, good. I do want to really say that's very important. And I also feel like all these women just around him, like praying over him and like singing to him spiritual hymns, some songs. Does that make sense?
Oh, yes.
So that was a really big part of your ancestry going back a lot of generations. And I'm feeling getting my whole body's chills, or if you would take that too. Is your family Baptist?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Lexi. Okay. Oh, my friend, I want to say your son had so much courage in the face of his passing, and that he trusted so much knowing that where he was in the spirit, where he'd go to a good place because he was surrounded by so much love. And a lot of this thought, he says, came from you. And you did this for their family, Shane. Okay. So I want you to know you graced many people. He also really wants to talk about you being a very charitable person. Do you bring hot meals to people?
No, I haven't been able to do it.
Okay. Because I'm feeling I'm seeing something about you. Would this have been something you've done in the past?
Not that, it's just that I basically, everybody just passed on my family, just about all of them. So I took up the slack for them.
Okay.
Was there for everybody.
Yeah, it feels like that. I feel like I'm seeing you preparing things for food in this case. Other people making sure everybody had what they needed.
Oh, I know what you're saying. I used to get to-go plates, and I used to cook for my brother. All of them used to come over and get plates and everything. That's probably cool.
Okay, feels, yeah, I'm handing people warm food. Very much like that. So I also want to say, when you have family gatherings, do you sometimes leave a space for him, like a chair for him or something?
Yes. His chair.
Yes, his chair. He feels that so much. And then also, too, did you have a dog he was very connected to?
Arby. Yes.
That feels, would you understand that dog still like after he passed, looking for him, sniffing for him?
Now I have another one. My husband had gotten me one after he passed, and I'm very close to him.
Oh, lovely. Yeah, there's just so much. Your son has so much love for you. I really want you to know, Shay, he is at peace. He is at peace. And I know how difficult it is for you after losing him, but he is really in a peace on you're definitely with I know this will help you with the Holy Spirit. I just want to tell you that.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, Shay. I'm sending you so much love and healing. I'm so sorry about the loss of your son.
Thank you.
Thankful. All right. So who are you hoping to connect with?
My mother?
Your mom. Okay, wonderful. Very good. Let me bring her in. Okay, so as soon as I'm in your mom's energy, I'm getting definitely something about her hair. So she's showing me liking having full hair. So it feels if I styled my hair myself or if I'm having someone style it, I want to make sure I have fullness because it feels like I like fullness because I like balance. Does that make sense to you?
It does, yeah, she always kept up with her hair pretty well.
Okay.
She stayed on top of it.
It feels like it. And I want to feel also too like I did do a little bit of backcombing to make sure that these sections were just so. I want to talk about that. So she's referencing that too. And would you understand there being the name John being somehow either connected to you or your mom? Does that make sense? John or a J name?
I don't think so. Nothing's coming to mind.
Okay, we'll leave that there for you too. I'm also feeling a few physical things with her at first. So I'm definitely getting winding in my lungs. And also, would you understand with her nail getting brittle at some point? She's
The lungs for sure. The nails, I can't confirm.
That's okay. So I'll give you what she's showing me. What she's showing me, she's a very detailed person. This would have been like her nails were much more, she feels for her, dried out and they would crack more. So she'd have to keep them a little bit shorter. Does that make sense?
Yeah, they were always longer. So I guess
Mhm.
it would make sense that's something that she would notice and
Yes.
prioritize.
Notice those things. Like so when I'm in her energy, I just get a sense of I do care about my appearance and how I look, not so much for other people, but how I feel in myself. Like she liked to feel like she felt put together. Does that make sense?
100%.
Okay, now that makes a lot of sense. Okay, very good. Your mom also, I want to talk about, feels very like vitally independent in a lot of ways. So she didn't like having to ask other people to do things. She really wanted to be able to do a lot on her own. And I also want to talk about like when I had a difficult time giving over, I would say, control or decisions to other people when it came to my health. Does that make sense?
Yes, very, very much.
Wow. She was very strong willed and very just, there's no mincing words with her.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. Now she's mentioning something connected to you around graduation. So let me just go into that. Part of this feels like it's happened already, but also I feel like it's something in the future. So I feel like she's actually referencing just about the choice you made when you left high school and then went to college. Was there a little bit of discussion with you with her around there? Maybe a little bit of tension? Does that make sense?
It does make sense. There was a tough transition for us, I would say, in terms of me going to college and becoming an adult, and then us trying to find that shift in relationship. There was some stress there for sure.
Absolutely. And I just have to say a little bit, I tend to pick up on a lot of very sublime details with interrelationships that aren't glaringly obvious. That's just the way it comes through. So it doesn't have to be a huge overture. It's definitely just a point of growth and maybe a little rub and contention. And then also, too, I do want to talk about, have you recently moved up and doing something either in your work or graduated to something else? I feel like you're moving up somehow. Does that make sense?
Not for me, but I don't know if it's a reach. My husband went back to school for another certification, and it's like a big step for our family. So it could be in relation to that.
That feels like it. So we're graduating to some other level, we're moving to another place, and then we work together collaboratively as well, is what I want to say. Okay. She's also talking about you earning your own money. Was this a big thing that she tried to stress to you, in that always have a way that you can make an income or always make sure you're doing something that you feel would make you feel strong as a woman? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think ever since I was in college, I was financially independent from them. And I've continued to work and have kids, and it's very different from the role that she took. So I could see how that would be important for her to mention.
It feels like I'm focusing on that. And there's a level of independence. And because I do want to say she is talking about your grandparents' dynamics as well, that she really felt like her mom really didn't feel in charge of her own life and schedule, and everything was based on everybody else. And so it was something that she wanted to be able to insert into your life. And so let me talk about siblings for you, if I can, just a second. Would you understand there being a brother and a sister, or does that make sense to you?
Yes, I do have a few siblings.
Okay, yes. I feel like I'm seeing brother for sure. Two sisters?
Two sisters and a brother. Yeah.
Two sisters and a brother. Yeah, that feels like I'm keeping going is what she's giving me. Okay, very good. Let me go into this. Would someone live in like a ranch style house, or would there have been a ranch style house at any point?
My my dad did move since she passed, and there is only he has a basement, but it is only one floor.
Yeah, it feels like that. It feels like I'm in just one level is how it is. One level, very like. And would you understand? Does your dad have a dog? Is there a thought about that?
I'm sorry, you broke up there for 1
What?
second on the
No
connection.
worries. That's okay. Would you understand your dad either having a dog or getting a dog? Is there a conversation in form?
My brother's girlfriend has 2 dogs that lived with them for a while over the summer.
Wow. And so it does feel like your mom's mentioning, and I'm getting confirmation on this about your dad having some kind of a companion so he can have something to get up and do stuff with. Does that make sense to you?
I think so. I don't think he wants a dog, but he did enjoy having them.
Yeah, exactly. Which makes sense. I think it's more your mom's suggestion about him having this thing that he does. Is there a connection with anyone with golf?
My dad plays golf.
Your dad plays golf. Okay, very good. Because I was hearing that too. Yeah, I'm hearing like getting out on the green, getting out on and doing that. Okay. And the other thing, is there a connection here with South Carolina? Because I just heard that somehow.
Oh my god. Yeah, my sister's in South Carolina.
Okay,
That's where she lives. She went to school there.
excellent. And what I want to talk about is there's definitely a nice climate there. Your mom is mentioning that.
They were gonna move there and they never made it.
Okay. Wow. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, it feels
Yeah.
like the temperature is nice. That's what we're hearing. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. Amazing. Okay, here we go. Do you understand the name Ernie or what the reference to Ernie is?
I don't think so.
Okay. Let me just see what this is. I heard that name very clearly. I don't want to fill it with something. Just a second. Would there have been okay. This could be a stretch on my part. We'll see where we go with this. Would there have been a connection with Sesame Street with someone in the family younger years? Does that make sense?
And I remember I feel like we all watched it growing up, but nothing
That's
huge is jumping out to me.
I'm just going to put that out there because that ran across my consciousness. And I think that's a good mention just to let you know. Oh, wow. That's so interesting. She is really referencing you being a very creative person and also very insightful. She's also mentioning how you have a way of with each. Do you have 2 or 3 children?
I have 2.
Okay. Are you thinking about having another child?
It's been on the table for a while. We go back and forth a lot.
Okay, it feels like that. Can I just jump in and tell you what your mom is saying and then you can decide?
Absolutely.
Okay, they do this to me sometimes. I really feel like she's telling you there's one more coming. And I feel, oh, why did they do this to me? Okay, I'm just going to tell you this. And remember, please think this could be just me saying whatever you'd make your own decision. I feel like this is a boy spirit. I'm just going to tell you that. I'm sorry ahead of time. Okay, did put me in on my space, but I'm feeling that really strongly. And this does happen to me periodically because I want to talk to a little. This is important. I'm going to tell you this because I want you to write this down about the personality of this baby. Sorry, I know it might not be ethical, but I'm going to do it.
Oh, it's okay.
Some people are really like, you should never. If it's coming through, I'm going to say it. Okay, so want to say this kid, I'm hearing chip off the old block. So I feel like his personality is a little bit like your dad's. I feel like he's going to be a kid who's like into sports and things like that. And he's like a little old man. That's what she's telling me about this child. But he's also going to be like a little bit of a handful, but so much fun. And I feel like he's going to provide comic relief in your family. I also feel like he's going to be very close to you. And he's going to be the kind of kid that will be like cheering everybody on. Like he's a really good friend to his friend. He's definitely has a little bit of that just very fraternizing kind of fun energy in him, this kid. And I'm also feeling like I'm hearing him say, just pull the trigger. That's what I'm hearing. Oh my God.
That makes a whole lot of sense, to be honest.
It's running your family. It's the missing link. Am I?
Oh gosh. No, you're not. It's a kind of we want to, but should we
Oh my
situation.
God. Because sometimes they jump into, and I'm just saying, you decide, you're in control. But I have had this happen on multiple occasions with spirits for like many years. And I have to say what I say. So if it's the thing that pushes you over, then let it be the thing that pushes you over. And it's just something that feels very distinct, I want to say.
Okay.
Let me see if there's anything else there. Yeah. Your mom is like cheering that on. And she's also said, your house is big enough. You have room.
We do.
Okay. Also, do you have like really nice neighbor kids in your neighborhood?
Yeah, we live in a great setting, a lot of little kids right down the street from the elementary school.
She's like, what are you waiting for? And also, this child is, what are you waiting for?
Dude.
Oh my God. I'm in so much trouble. Okay, so first of all, do you have somebody who has an A name? Is there an A name in the family? And
Yeah.
does that make sense?
In terms of a male,
I don't know. Just an A name is coming.
my sister's name is Anna. One of them is named Anna.
Okay, that's what it is too. All right. I'm not going to go so far as to tell you the name he's trying to mention. I'm not going to do that because that's like your decision. Oh God. He's an opinionated spirit. Let me just put it.
Okay.
And really funny, very hilarious, very strong. He comes out like a very strong baby spirit. Like he has his eyes open, alert, ready to go, and engage. I feel like this is the type of child that's going to walk pretty early. Listen, I tell them I don't do these predictions, that they come in, they know I'm going to do it, and I do it. So I'm going to do it. I just feel there's a real, let's go. Everybody's on, like, coming up from the spirit world, just jumping me. They're jumping on me. So I'm going to give it to you. I'm excited. Now, listen, you and your husband decide. That's the ultimate choice of a family, not my family. But if anything changes, will you let me know?
Yes, 100%. I will keep you in mind on that
Oh
one.
my God. So I'm going to give you one little story. I'll give you two little stories just for fun. 16 years ago, one of my best friends who lives here near me, I've been friends with her for 20 something years. They've been trying to have a baby for a long time. And one day I just had this whole download about the baby. And he came to me just like this beautiful little spirit is coming in. And I knew his personality. I said all these bullet points about him. He's going to be very witty. He's very smart, but he's going to make you laugh all the time. He's going to be very close to you. He's going to be he's going to be all these things. That kid is a freshman in high school right now. One. The second one is that my own son, before he was born, came to me and I just knew exactly the way he was going to be, to the T. And I wasn't asking for it to. And my son, 25 years old, exactly like that. So I'm just going to give you that, Bree. And I'm just going to see what happens, okay?
I appreciate that.
Someone's going to go, shit, told her what her baby's personality was like before he was conceived. I was like, this is, again, I'm trying to be ethical here, but look her up. Okay, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I love your mom. She's a lovely lady. I feel like she hasn't been gone like more than 18 months. Is that right?
It's been a little bit longer than that.
A little bit longer than that? Okay. There's something tied into 18 months, so I'm just going to put that out there. I don't know what that's connected to per se, but that's what I was getting.
Okay.
Bree, I really enjoyed
Thank you.
and your family.
Yeah, this was fantastic. Thank you so much.
All right, I'll talk to you later.
All right.
Bye-bye.